So Peter, you're in the privileged position that you get to see a really wide view of what's going on in the market.
Yep.
And we've had an excellent 2 days here at the CCS facility in Germany, hosted by Apcudo. What are the key thoughts that you're taking away from this event?
Well, quite a few, but I think most important is that in time, any serious business in Europe needs to have some kind of automation, processing and grading the device. And you know, Apcudo is a prime example of how that could be organized. There are other examples as well, but you know, I think the Apcudo machine has a proven track record, which is quite important as well. And the service on top of that by cyclists, where you can actually use the device, but you know, the machines and everything, and not doing the investment is really going to help the European market to get more professional. So you know, that's probably the biggest takeaway for me from this event.
So you've been following this sector more deeply than almost anybody I know. And there's been a lot of talk about the secondary market opportunity.
Yep.
You know, personally, you know, the research we've been doing at CCS Insight points to an upward curve, you know, steady growth.
Yep.
Is that kind of in line with what you're seeing? Do you believe the time is now right for secondary market to see continued growth?
Yeah, but you know, people have to be realistic. It is, you know, not the gold rush anymore as it used to be. And that's good, because that means that the market is becoming more mature, more professional. The demand from consumers is there and will grow. This year and probably next year as well, there will be consolidation when it comes to revenue growth and volume growth. But after that, you know, the market is really going to explode. It also a little bit depends on the success next year of the Apple device, the Fold or the Flip or whatever they're going to call it, if there's going to be a super cycle or not. Very important is that the in Europe we start to focus on trade-in, because the primary market is crucial for the secondary market. If there is a primary market growth, then there's a secondary growth, because there are more devices available. However, you can sort of compensate that to increase the number of trade-ins. And you know, you showed that the percentage for operators is around 5-6%, Orange France being the odd one out. In the UK the percentage is high as well. But if in Europe we start to increase the number of trade-ins substantially, then that is going to fuel the secondary market, and then you will see an upswing on that. So this year and next year there will be consolidation, and probably 2027 the market is going to grow quite rapidly. That's my feeling. Yeah.
So to talk about it in a slightly different way, so trade-in, you feel, is really the catalyst to driving the growth in the market?
Absolutely, yeah.
And so what are you seeing in terms of trade-in opportunities in Europe?
Because the trade-in percentage, or the attach rate, is extremely low, so it is a huge opportunity. It is almost like an untapped market. But in order to run successful trade-in programs, there are certain conditions you should match. First of all, the user interface should be great. You know, it should be totally integrated in your sales process. Secondly, because of the transparency in the market, you need to offer your consumers, so the people that want to trade in, a fair price. If not, then nobody will trade in the device. And thirdly, you have to offer instant payout. So don't ask people to send in a device and then after 2 weeks you pay them, but instead of 100 euros, only 80 euros, instant payout, or even a credit, a store credit. That's essential. So those three things, and that will drive the attach rate of trade-ins, is my feeling.
And finally, what's been the most exciting thing you've seen at this event?
To be honest, Andreas yesterday in his Bavarian clothes.
That's a very good one. I was also very interested in the watch stuff. I don't know how much you've seen that before,
oh, absolutely.
Looks like an interesting add-on to the service.
You're spot on. Watches always have been a nightmare from a processing point of view, because you have to attach them to an iPhone and they need to be charged 50%, and you know, and It was always extremely difficult and time consuming, but it is a very interesting product for the secondary market because it's almost an impulse buy because of the average price. So very interesting for retailers and operators to sell and to combine with, for instance, selling a smartphone. Cyber black processing and what we saw yesterday, I think is almost ticking all the boxes. Yeah. So that's a great add-on. Also, the Renew King polishing and buffing, which to me surprisingly, in the past I've seen a lot of machines. There was always a lot of liquid and dust and really a very unhealthy environment. Well, yesterday, I was amazed. Not that much noise, no dust, no liquids, really clean operation, and that's what you need. And also the reglassing is a potential. But with reglassing, the screen itself becomes a grade A. But if the housing is not a grade A, then that's a little bit difficult. Yeah, you can always put a screen protector or a case around it, but still. The screen is most important because that's what you look at all day.
Great. Well, Peter, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Great to get your insights.
Good.
Much appreciated.
Okay. Thank you.